Hello, 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 chaps. It's turn something. What turn is it? It's turn 87. And this is just not stopping. And boy, is it painful. So we lost an unimportant... I think none of these are really important. The only really painful one is... Well, we actually won this battle. Corpse construction carried on. We got 26, 36, 43, 60, 77, 97, 110, 120, 144 blood slaves, which is okay, I guess. But yeah, mostly losing Raktapata researchers, but we also lose some more valuable ones, such as this Rakshasi. And this is definitely the most annoying one, because she had a cornucopia, which is a 15 gem item. She had a soul contract, so it's quite valuable. And the battle basically continues on like this for ages, with the soul contract constantly producing more. And she casts Stream of Life quite a few times, but in the end it just regens. It has 50% regen, which is 31 HP. So unless you can do 31 HP around, at least, then you can't kill it. Eventually she just routes, which was very, very annoying. Yeah, 267 kills. Total bullshit, to be honest. Elsewhere, we raided this province from Pan. And what else happened? Raided another province here. And we get to see this. Now, Hunom didn't have any defenders here, so we don't have anything interesting to show in this battle reports, except that Skabiel... Skabiel defeated the PD, ate the fort, and then attacked the people inside the fort as well. The interesting thing is that this temple's still here, apparently. I'm sure it'll get destroyed next turn, though. So, this is us retreating. We retreated from this battle. The three surviving bodyguards of the Rakshasi that we just watched die are still here, but the rest of our army retreated. So we get to have a nice long look at this army, and boy, is it quite scary. I don't know if I can actually beat this. Just because, I mean, obviously we have better troops, but we do not... I don't think we can really rival... I guess we can stand toe-to-toe in terms of thugs and SCs, because we do have fully geared Mandehas around. But they have some storm demons, which are really good. With this attack, it's damn good. We don't have any lightning resistance on our sacreds. These guys aren't good, but they're not terrible either. And then lastly, he just has a whole load of blood slaves, and he has a whole load of. He's also got this guy. Okay, extra army size perception. That's interesting to note. But we have a scouting report now anyway. And there's just 50 Amis. And Amis, a lot of them are astral. Some of them are casting summon earth power. Oh, I should gem burn this army, because these guys are going to cast marble warriors unless I gem burn them. So I guess I ought to gem burn. Actually, you can't safely gem burn this army, because it'll just cast a mind burn and stuff like that a billion times on turn 1. So I don't think I will gem burn them, actually. This guy's got a lightless lantern. Well, he's going to die to horrors, probably. And he's got sages here as well. He's taken out his entire research force, complete with research items. So this is his desperate last stand. So this could really do a huge amount of damage to me. I mean, just look at all of these mages, all of these commanders. It's practically the whole screen is taken up with this stuff. 50 Amis, 19 sages, 6 Grigories. So it's pretty terrifying stuff. In August Peak, we finally retook this province. We defeated the Eater of Dreams. We did lose a Jade Sorcerer and a Rakta, probably to Heat Aura or something, but that wasn't too hard. We're raiding Therados, but we're raiding Therados back, and I've tried to de-escalate with Therados. We'll see what he does next turn. We brought our Sea Wraith Lords over into Hinnom here, but then having seen this gigantic army, I'm not going to raid with them further, because I need them to be here. I need them right here. Now, normally I would cast a lot of flames from the sky on this army and try to kill the Amis that way. Do Amis have... They don't have inherent fire resistance, and nor do the Sages. So you could thin out a lot of these troops just with flames from the sky. The problem with doing that now is that it's the Cataclysm, so if I cast... Also, I don't have the spell researched yet. So if I cast 30 gems on a ritual... Oh, only my Pretender can cast it anyway. Then they'll probably get attacked by horrors. And if they do, then the ritual, I think, doesn't go off. So that's pretty bad. So to counter this gigantic communion with quite a few good troops, there's a few things going for us. Firstly, we have better troops. We definitely win on the troop side. Secondly, we do have Life for a Life, which should be able to take out the Azazel, all of the Gregories, if we spam it enough. And lastly, we do have some communions of our own. So we've got 4. We're going to have 4 Lizardman Shamans. And actually, I moved these guys over here onto this throne, which was pretty dumb. I should have moved them here, but it's too late now. The next turn's already come. So we'll only have 4 Lizardman Shamans, because 2 of these are going to Mind Duel, because I don't like seeing diseased people, which was also a mistake. I should have just had all 10 Lizardman Shamans here, and I should never have stopped recruiting them. Oh, so I was still recruiting them. So this battle's going to be pretty tough. I think we should still win, but it's going to be really tough. We found a Vine Brand and a Fire Brand and a Vine Shield. I think this Pan was here to gem bait me and to see all my scripts, and he totally succeeded at that. So I've actually retreated my whole army, because this army against Pan has been incredibly badly organized. So I'm only just starting to organize it with more gems and stuff, bringing it over here. I might even go and conquer Pan itself first, or I might get completely schlonged with seductions and assassinations, in which case I'll probably just retreat, and I might even stop attacking Pan. Who knows? Yeah, this whole thing's looking pretty bleak against Pan. So, that's the story of Lanka. On turn whatever it was. See you chaps next time.
Hello chaps, this is turn 88, and this is going to be a short, quiet one, because I'm doing this late at night. But this is... so in this turn we got 51... 73, 93, 102, 135, I think. Bloodslaves, again, not very good, but it's good enough, I guess. We lost a Yogini. We did not lose our Pretender. The Danava just chunked them all very easily. Summoned a Wraith Lord and 2 sets of Danavas. Summoned some more Corpse Men on the throne next to Niflheim. And yeah, we did not lose our Prophet. We lost some more decently valuable mages. This guy came back though. Yeah, losing several Silver Orders. This is 6 turns worth of those guys. So very unfortunate. And some other minor things. In terms of battles, what actually happened here? So somehow we managed to dominate this guy's mind. I think it must have been all off-script Hellbind Heart casting. So when you Hellbind someone, or whatever we did to them, this guy must have died to Heator, like these two guys. They become a normal unit, so they lost their items, which is why we got them. Raided another province. Raided this province. And yeah, here's Hinnom's army. And it really is... So they lost a sage, and they lost... Yeah, where are their armies? They lost an army as well. Now, a quarter of the armies are going to be astral, so... Except I think he used the fire ones a lot earlier. So he could easily have 15 astral armies. Astral 2 mages. He also has 18 sages and a shaman. So this is a huge communion with huge communion masters. I suspect his research won't be that great, but this is a big boy communion. I kind of expect to get trounced, actually, in the battle ahead. The difference is that if his guys die, I don't think he can really replace them. I think I have a lot more long-term strength than him, but boy oh boy, this is a serious force. I think I lose any protracted engagement against this, and so unfortunately he'll probably... Oh, Grigori is all the same. So does he have any air in this stack? He probably does have an air mage somewhere. This guy's Earth Blood. Yeah, he has he probably has some air on the Adept. Let's check. Let's have a look at this army. So he has big nature. He has Earth, Blood, Fire. More big nature. Lots of communicants. Huge astral here. Oh my goodness. That has to be master, like Mass Enslave or something. Ah yeah, here's the huge air spending. So yeah, this is a huge force in terms of magic as well. And look at all those blood slaves too. That's huge. And anyway, my decision was to sit inside this fort, and hopefully I managed to find everyone that was patrolling and set them to hide inside the fort. And I also moved all of these mages inside the fort. So I'm trying to last-ditch reinforce this place. So we've got summoning ghosts on the Wraith Lords. We've got blood hunting, which is to increase the unrest level now that we're no longer patrolling. We've got summoning Spectre, a spectral mage, I think. Not sure what I'm doing there. Got some preaching. These scouts are all to deal with his assassins. And I think I've got some summoning Denavas here. We've got this guy on summon Denavas and this one on summon Denavas. So he actually one turn cracked this fortress. So he must have at least 750 siege strength. And if you look at this fort, if you add our integrity to our defense, it's only 1,000. So he'll probably one turn breach this as well. So things are looking pretty bleak for us. I feel like he will just have immense amounts of battlefield-wide enchantments being cast. His magic, especially his astral, just outstrips ours. The only good thing we have going, I would say, is firstly overwhelmingly better troops, and we can also cast Life for Life a lot, and that should kill his Grigoris. A big deciding factor in this battle is going to be Mass Flight. If I can cast Mass Flight and attack rear, and kill a lot of his people, a lot of his blood slaves, and a lot of his Communion Slaves before they can do much, then that'll win me the battle. But if he casts Storm so that I can't fly in, I think he might win the battle. And he has lost this throne, so he certainly won't be winning the game off that. And longer term, if he takes this throne and sort of starts taking these forts, I'll eventually be able to throw up another force, which I think he will struggle to do. And I also have fully geared Mandekas. In Turmoil 3, I think they can take on Grigori's fairly well. Not amazingly well, but fairly well. And I should also be able to take a throne off Pan here. So I still think I should win this game. Even if I lose that battle, it depends really. If I do lose it, I'll want to go pretty hard on the raiding afterwards and see how that works. I'll also complain to Mekane. I'll plead for him to intervene maybe, or something. But he probably won't listen because he knows I'm the strongest player on the board. Now, we moved our scout over here finally, and amazingly, Atlantis actually did lose this province to Pan, which is just, I can't even understand it. I can't believe it. It's so weird. But it looks like he's probably going to take it back. Just looking at these forces, I think he'll take it back. It's Atlantis. He's got all these mages as well, like mostly mages of the deep. This is at least 15 mages of the deep, possibly as many as 60. More like 40, 30 mages of the deep there, on average. Theridos, I think, is probably going to remain quiescent, except for attacking this throne. I think that's very likely. They could also be sending this army, like, here, to maybe surprise me a little or something, but they could have surprised me just as much by going there. So they're probably attacking Pan, or maybe they're going to attack... I don't know why that army is there. If it wants to attack this throne, couldn't it come through here or something? And if it wants to attack this throne, why wouldn't it go there? So maybe he's just sort of standing there, weirdly and awkwardly. And yeah, that's about it for this turn. I'm not feeling good about this coming battle. I should really be gem burning them, but I didn't. I couldn't find a commander that I was okay with losing. I guess I should have lost a Yogini. Like this guy. I should have sent this guy into gem burn. Huge mistake not doing that. Ah, what an idiot. I would have seen all of his scripting as well. Now, I'm hoping he takes this fort, but it's also possible that he goes in on this... Actually, he'll probably take the fort with a small group and move the main army onto here. So we'll see what happens. We'll also see what goes on with the raiding over here. Ah yes, and of course, Skabiel has now destroyed this throne. So it's no longer 14 ascension points, it's now 12 points. Which is, they're all level 2 thrones, as you can see, so that only means 6 thrones to win. No one is really there yet, especially not me, because now that this throne no longer exists, I can't realistically take this one, because it's underwater. So, for me to win, I have to retain control over this throne, protect this throne if Theridos moves in on me, take this throne, and also take this throne. So basically I need to beat Theridos, Pan, Hinnom to win simultaneously, and this is like past his capital, so I'll be fighting all of Pan's forces. Obviously I'm already fighting all of Hinnom's forces, and I'll be fighting all of Theridos' forces. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to happen very soon either. But that's the end of... oh, I should talk to you about some random things that are happening. So I made some Wraith Swords. I'm trying to get together some decent infrastructure for like items and thugs again, because I felt quite lacking at some points for decent items. And the usual stuff is going on with blood hunting and patrolling. Lots of stuff I didn't make you sit through watching, where I'm just moving blood scouts around and patrolling. And oh yeah, these raids are just some Raktapatas and some Solus. I actually didn't notice that these Solus aren't under command of these Raktapatas, so that was rather dumb. But they'll move here, and these guys are going to have some. So we'll probably retain control of this place next turn. And another thing to mention is that under Cataclysm, unrest globally increases every turn. My income's largely protected by forts. I think forts reduce the impact that unrest has on income. But it's still pretty painful. I guess that's why I'm so confident about fighting Hinnom long term, because he's not patrolling like I am. He doesn't have forts everywhere like I do. So his income's going to be really bad. Probably the same with Pan, but he can patrol with 3 Maenads. Mechane, he's so stagnant and immobile this game, he probably has patrols in every province or something crazy. And Niflheim's probably planning a breakout. I think he has some forces over here in this province, so he's probably planning a last-ditch gimmick mass Skelos spam attack on this throne or something at some point. We'll see what happens. We got attacked by barbarians here, which is quite annoying. I'm just going to kill them with some Solus. I'm also raiding 3 Niflheim provinces, and I retook these provinces at some point, which is nice. Although tiny amounts of gold. And yeah, we lost another 1,400 people from this province. Keeps on happening. The pop loss in this game from events is unreal. Like, here's another 500. This was a like 9,000, at least 7,000 population province not long ago. And now it's all like, oh wow, okay, minus 5,000 population. I forgot about that one. This was 16,000. 400 corpses. Don't you just love to see it? You hate to see it, you love to see it. And that's turn 88. See you traps next time. Hello again, chaps. This is not a full turn video. This is just a special little episode. So it's turn 89 here, and this I'm going to put this in before my main video about turning 89, but as you can see, he stayed here with his entire army, thus giving us an entire extra term to prepare ourselves. We also notice that this population has been totally drained of all population, and that this army has about 1,000 pop kill in it from the commanders. But anyway, I just took all of the gems, all of the scripts, and all of the items off all of these guys, and I'm about to organize them into a big fight that's going to happen next turn. And I thought you'd want to see this. This is my inventory, my magic item inventory in its full glory. I'm just going to organize it really quickly, just in case you want to see that. It's bloody impossible to organise. Oh my god. I'm gonna do it, but it's gonna be off camera because I might have to scream. And here it is, sort of organised, kind of. Looks okay now, I guess. Hello chaps, it's turn 89, and not too much has happened this turn. So we lost some unimportant mages, lost some Wraith Lords, which is also not terribly important. Actually that guy survived. Got some pretty bad blood income. This is like 120 or something, 130. We killed the Hunter of Heroes in a 1 versus 1. That's fun. Fire Elemental just had his damage reflected. But eventually our Pretender God just zaps this guy and then kills him with her axes, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what else happened. There has to be some there was no. There were, okay, there, of course there was minus population event. There always is. So this is we got a really good look again at Hinnom's army. And you can see that they have, these Amis just mind-burned everything, I think, or something. I'm not sure quite what happened, but it's pretty terrifying. Actually, they can't have mind-burned everything, because then... Oh, the Sages are only S1. These guys are S2s. So that explains that. And, yeah. Because of these Grigoris, they don't all have these paths. This is a mistake. Some of them have high nature, some of them have high earth. No, not high air. So basically, they're going to have every important buff and spell in this battle that's coming. But yeah, they actually paused with their whole army to take this fortress, which is very convenient for me. It gives me another full turn to prepare, which is exactly what I've done. And it took a long time to script all of this, but it was worth it. We eventually put all our items on people as well. And the turn has rolled, so it's going to be very interesting to watch if I manage to win this battle. Because he definitely has a lot more magic than me, just far worse troops. Let's see what else there is. So there's a bit of raiding and counter-raiding. We didn't really fight a battle here, but we did run into an enemy thug, so we lost some gems to that. I think I had enough gems to resupply most of my important spells. So it's all looking pretty decent here. I'm fairly optimistic about the storming. Oh shit, I didn't leave any commanders on maintain siege. It doesn't really matter. I need them all anyway, I think. I guess I don't really need these guys. Wait, aren't they supposed to be... Why are they even here? If they're not Sabbath slaves. Oh well. We retreated those two Rector-Paters here, so now we've got some undead building up here with some leech casts as well. Therados has staled. He has staled 3 of the past 5 turns, but I think that was because he's just not used to Llama server email games. He's more used to bot games. So we pinged him and he said, "Oh hi, sorry about that." Scabiel, the maker of Ruin, has attacked the neighbouring province, which is quite interesting. I didn't know they did that. I didn't know they moved around the map. That's kind of scary. Did anything else happen this turn? Doesn't look like it. Oh, and we raided these provinces down here that were Niflheim's beforehand. None of them are really important. This one could be a blood hunting province in the future, but let's be realistic. Summoned another Wraithlord, summoned some more Dinavas from my army. Yeah, a lot of raiding going on, but it's nothing terribly important. It's just stuff like this. And like, yeah, this is all you're going to see if I click on all of these. Huh, that's interesting. I didn't actually click on this one before. I didn't realise you managed to lose one. That's kind of embarrassing. Oh, so they're not geared. I guess it's less embarrassing in that case. Only this one's geared. Maybe he should have sent this one in by himself. Nah, that would have been overly optimistic. Summon Earth Power with the gem. Is it this guy who dies because he's nature? Damn, these guys are such good thugs. It's actually absurd. Iron Wills? Seriously? Oh, so he actually died in the retreat. That's interesting. Quite unlucky. It's a shame that I summoned... Actually, it's a good thing that I summoned a Citadel of Power and then it gets captured, because it's delaying an enemy throne fight, which is definitely worth it. For 120 blood slaves, I guess it's worth it. I baited him into sitting around in this province for an extra turn. Maybe he just wanted to use the laboratory in it, but of course there isn't one. So maybe he'll be very disappointed when he sees that. Maybe he just had gem scouts and other reinforcements coming in from behind. Not sure why he sat around to take a fortress. Maybe he just wants to be totally certain that he has avenues of retreat open, which seems odd, because there's so many forces here that this is like his last hurrah. But that's about all there is to say about this turn. It's getting quite hard to use my gems with all the horror attacks. Gold is also starting to be restricted pretty heavily by the cataclysm unrest that's rising everywhere. But we still have lots of blood income and quite a fair few patrollers, soulless and long dead patrollers everywhere. So that's quite good for us. Still optimistic about this game. It's a shame that I couldn't get this thrown off Hinnom, which I'm sure was deliberate from him. And yeah, Atlantis has moved his army on top of Pan's throne here, so he's going to almost certainly take this throne back. So that'll take Pan back down to 3 thrones, and I'll be on 4 if I win the fight against Hinnom. So that means I'll be back in the lead. The game, though, still won't be easy. I still need 6 thrones to win. So basically I have to take this one and either this one or this one to win. That's not really happening anytime soon, in my opinion. I mean, Pan, I'm fighting Pan here, but he's got this gigantic force over here. So anyway, that's the end of turn 89. And of course there were all sorts of other things going on, like forging an unimportant artifact and organising blood hunting and forging in dragon helmets and summoning allies, summoning ghosts with these Wraith Lords. Summoning corpse constructs like 10 at a time, it's really good actually. I'm very pleased with this. It's how many is it? Yeah, 13 at a time for 1 air gem. It's incredibly good. But that's the end of turn 89. See you chaps next time.
Hello, 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 chaps. It's turn 90, and we cast Sea King's Court with a Sea King, and he then got killed by a horror for doing that, so now we still have 1 Sea King left over. So that's quite ironic. We lost a Flame Spirit, 2 Crystal Mages, and another Flame Spirit. So quite annoying, but nothing too terrible. Scabiel, the Maker of Ruins, took this province from us, but has now disappeared. But the real story of this turn is the battle at Heaven's Gate, which was quite an overwhelming victory for us. Now, if you look at these casualties, all of the Amis, everyone died on this side because they had nowhere to retreat to, except for the ones that could fly across this river to this province, because he forgot to put any province defense in this on this fort. So we actually took it with our scout, and that will. It might be possible for him to somehow still retreat inside the fort. I don't think it is, though. And actually, even if they are inside the fort, we're going to move our army there and kill them next turn anyway. So that's very... I think they're all dead, though, for sure, in the retreat. So everything here died. And we didn't lose a single commander. I lost Anaz Rapa, Aidenava, 12 Rakshasa warriors, and some long dead and soulless. So basically... Oh, and of course I spent a lot of gems. But, let's just hop right in. Now, something I forgot to mention in the run-up to this battle last turn. One thing I forgot to mention was the whole idea of mass flight versus storm. Because I knew that he was going to cast storm to counter mass flight. I was hoping that if I cast mass flight with my people on attack instead of hold an attack, that they'd be able to get into the fray straight away. He did cast storm straight away, so we weren't able to fly in. Except for some long dead managed to fly in. I don't know why or how, but they could. Let's just start with showing you the armor on some of our guys. Why are their helmets all broken? It says that their helmets are broken when they don't even have helmets. So these guys normally have 15 protection. Just going to bear that in mind for what it looks like after the Army of Gold buff. And You know, he doesn't have troops that are as good as all of these Sacreds by a mile, but he does have enough troops to hold me up for a bit. He has... this must be 200 Blood Slaves. I mean, what do you think it is? Looks like 200 to me. He's got some Storm Demons. He's got 6 Azazels. No, 6 Grigori, but they're not geared. So this guy has some boosters and an army of knights. This guy has some nice gear and a really, really good weapon. I mean, this is just incredible. But he has no helmet. Like this guy, he's got an Athame, but again, he's only half geared. Same with this guy. Actually, this guy's kind of geared. He's got a weapon. This guy's mostly geared, but some of it's just astral boosters. But the big moral of the story is he has some troops. He's also got some Melkarts. He's got this guy. I think this is his pretender with a Holy Scourge. He's got some. He's got a Halberd of Might Melkart. He's got a Eye Shield and the spear and stuff. He's got this guy. Oh, I guess he was just going to cast Solar Brilliance in this battle then. But yeah, he's got all of the Astral you could ask for. He's got all of the Nature you could ask for. He's got some decent stuff here. He's got loads of Communion Slaves. He's got loads of Air, Earth, Blood, of course. So he's got a lot of magic that he could cast. And I was really worried about this battle, actually. Because he brought an awful lot of Communion Slaves to it. All of these Sages, for example, as well as some of the Amis, I think. Some of the Amis are... He casts Storm Power and Storm, and this guy's got a lot of Death Gems. I'm not sure what that's actually for, though. How many of the... Yeah, so you've got some Astral Amis as well. So at least... probably at least 24 Communion Slaves, or at least 20. Definitely more than 16. So I was thinking he could do some really nasty Soul Slay, Enslave Mind stuff. And he's got some Demon Knights as well. But anyway, let's play the battle slowly. So Darkness comes in from our Mandeha. It's a shame you can't have a proper battle log that allows you to scroll up. But we're going to cast Enlarge and Divine Blessing and Horde of Skeletons. And Mass Regen is important. We're casting Life for Life on the first round because I hoped it would kill the Grigoris, but they have 66 HP, whereas the Melkarts actually have 69. The Pretender God has 157. This guy has 81. So it actually wasn't the even the Bales probably have a lot, not that much. But the Azazels weren't actually the target of Life for Life. The Melkarts were, and it didn't single kill them either. This is the Wraith Police. Prepares to cast Damage Reversal. I wonder if that's in reference to all my Wraith Lords. And there you have it. Didn't they cast Communion Master? Right, these guys are Communion Slaves, right? As you would expect. So where's the Communion Master? So this guy's a Communion Master. Magic Boost 3 with only 15. Why is he a Communion Master? I would have thought he'd put the Grigoris as Communion Masters, but instead it's these guys. So he wanted Big Astral on his Amis. I don't know why. Maybe Soul Slay or Enslave Mind. I don't know if he has Enslave Mind researched. Let's see what this guy casts, because he's got loads of Astral Gems. Jesus, that's annoying. Azazel casts Fanaticism. That's pretty impressive. Hey, what's that? Corruptor. No, it's not that amazing. So far what's happened is we've cast Mass Regen, so we have with Bless 20%. We've cast... well, he's got Wooden Warriors. I was going to cast Army of Gold, though. I wonder what happened to that. None of the commanders in this army died, so I should have had someone do that. Maybe he's just waiting or something. And see, this is the bit where it's a storm, right? It's a natural storm, but these guys in the air here are all flying forward, and I don't know how they managed it. So my question is, how did they manage to fly in? You've also got people casting Marble Warriors, Firefend, Life for a Life, I think. I think he casted Leech on me, but I was mostly casting Life for a Life on him. And we need to go on to the less detailed battle log. Someone cast Pillar of Fire, which is impressive, but I think we have pretty good fire resistance. Because we've got a Flame Spirit here casting Firefend. Someone cast Banefire. It scrolled past before I could see it much. Yeah, and it looks like he is casting Soul Slay with his Communion, which is just not going to keep up with all of these Rakshasa warriors. And I think that is the sound of Army of Gold finally going off. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't. Well, something got cast. We also cast Wailing Winds. He casts Light of the Northern Star. We both cast Howling Battle. Oh, I know what that was. It was luck. So we have luck and 20% regen. Really hard to kill. Fog Warriors also goes off eventually in this battle. And you can kind of see how he has lightning and he has leech and like Soul Slay and stuff. Soul Slay probably did some work, but it's just not keeping up with fairly large demon HP, 20% regen and Blood Bond, and our defensive buffs of luck, stuff like that. And there comes the Fog Warriors. I'm getting really curious about what happened to my Army of Gold cast in this battle, though. Also, something that happened accidentally is that all of my Danavas actually didn't participate in the battle, because they actually got stuck behind my row of commanders and their bodyguards and their blood slaves. So that was kind of embarrassing. Also, I have my Wraith Lords here casting a whole bunch of skeletons. I would have put them further forward, but I was worried they would actually get targeted for Soul Slay, so I didn't. We're still casting Life for a Life, which has a 100 range. You can see we're actually casting Heat from Hell. I cast Firestorm and Heat from Hell in this battle. And of course Fire Ward, because I'm not an idiot. Where is my Crystal Mage? Ah, here he is. I definitely had him scripted. Like, he's got a fairly big Communion, almost as large as the opponent's Communion, actually. So he is Earth 6 now. Why isn't he casting stuff? Where's the Army of Gold? Come on. I think I had to get him to cast Anti-Magic, and also the Mass Luck buff. So it's not surprising that it's taking him a while. Power of the Spheres? Are you serious? Why is he casting that now? Maybe my scripting was pretty dumb. Anyway, as you can see, the Wailing Winds is definitely starting to take effect. And this was Hostile Dominion, which is nice. And we're taking very few casualties and basically carving through his front line here. It's kind of interesting to think that if you buffed all these Blood Slaves with Mass Regen and Luck and Fog Warriors, that they'd actually be pretty tanky. And maybe even Ethereal point buff them. That would be kind of funny. This guy looks like he's routing, but he's not. He's just facing the wrong way. These Demon Knights are kind of stuck. He probably should have had them on attack rear, but they would have just run into Azrapas and Wolves and Skeletons, so it wouldn't have worked. And we've got some more spells coming out. We've got Heat from Hell, Relief, which I also cast. That's about it, though. And these guys are all stunned, I think, or are they just air shielded? I thought they were stunned by lightning damage, but that's not the case. Some of the Danavas are finally coming in around the sides. Looks like he managed to cast something. He actually cast Fog Warriors. Took him a long time. He also cast Bloodlust. I think he just cast Bloodlet. So Bloodletting kind of counters Fog Warriors, maybe, I'm not sure how it works. Because it looks like a lot of his Blood Slaves are now injured and they don't have the Fog Warriors effect on them anymore. But so many of his people have already died before he cast Fog Warriors. So that was kind of that was a screw up for him. And I think we finally cast Army of Gold. So here's our 10 fire resistance and our 25 protection. Very, very nice. I mean, you're lucky. You've got Fog Warriors maybe. You've got 20% regen. Got Flight when the storm wears off. That's another odd thing about this battle, is that this storm eventually runs out. Yeah, here's where the storm runs out and everyone starts flying in because I had them on attack rear. It's really weird. And I think this guy is a Phoenix Pyre guy, but he still dies. And yeah, that's the end of this battle. And you can see how even these guys who are decayed don't die. Do they age? Yeah, like this guy's 119. This guy who got decayed is now 231. So as I said before, if you look at the adjoining provinces, this province, Castronomia, you can you can see here, he didn't put any PD in it, so he actually conquered this province, thus killing all of the people that were going to retreat here. So he kind of screwed up by not taking the adjacent provinces, except for this one, which did allow his Grigoris to escape. This province was taken by... where is it? Yeah, the son of Shamshiel. So he did escape. And he's quite well geared. So I think if you look at the casualties in Heaven's Gate in this battle, I think basically the only ones that escaped were the 4 Grigoris that didn't die, and maybe... And that's basically it. 4 Grigoris, some Storm Demons as well, and maybe the Camazots that survived. Probably not, their morale's pretty shite. Pardon my French. So anyway, there's that battle. That's probably the biggest battle that's going to happen in this game, because another throne died. I'm not sure quite when it died, but Therados lost their throne down here. So you used to need 7 thrones. We're now down to needing 5 thrones to win. And I have 4, and they're all kind of defended. The nearest enemy army is probably Therados has one here, but he seems to be fighting for this throne. My scout here died to a Gore-Tide horror. So this throne's defended. This throne is kind of defended. We'll have to see about that, actually. This throne's very safe. This throne's very safe. So these 2 thrones... Yeah, all 3 of these thrones are basically not going to be lost. This one's a bit dodgy, but I am at war with Pan. Now, he's got an army over here, which is not really a useful place to be. In fact, if he wanted to defend this throne, he would have had to move this army towards it, but he's moved it down here, and now this river's going to get in the way. Although, of course, crocodiles can swim, but the centaurs can't. The centaurs can probably go through here, though. That's a swamp. And then there's a river there as well. So they would have to go like this. They probably can't get there in time. Now, this army, in comparison to the other one, is a very unimpressive army. It's really not a big deal like the one you just watched is. It has far less magic, doesn't have communion slaves out the arse, but it does have some of the important spells. So I think we should be okay. I also geared this one up with... I finally decided to use the Gift of Kurgi. So she's now got 30 fear and like a protective force 20. She's insane. That probably comes from the Gift of Kurgi. I'm not sure. She has a sort of retinue of a lesser horror. She can do this, but this is on the strategic map, so I'm not going to bother with it. She's ethereal, flying, has storm immunity, and is going to get fucked by the item, so that's not good. And she has 25 defense skill. So yeah, I decided that I don't want this one to die because she's my mass regen caster. Hopefully with casts of Creeping Doom and Swarm, she can actually survive any horror assassinations or dryad seductions that occur. Because Pan didn't try any seductions against me on this fort. So either Pan is terrible, which is possible, or they're just saving them all up for here. And this invasion of Pan by me has just been so slow and badly organised. They've had so much extra time to prepare, just incredibly badly played by me. So he did let me take this fort basically with no opposition, except a couple of thugs that were probably just gem burning or something. And if I can take this fort, this throne, then I actually win the game straight up. He does have his 3 grey ones who are all geared, probably all going to be here. He's got some Maenads, Long Deads and White Centaurs. Those don't really matter. I think I have won the game, but I need to not get ruined. I need to not get ruined by seductions. So I'm going to have to increase this guy's morale, but I've run out of dragon gear to give out. So instead of relying on those guys to not get seduced, I'm going to use these guys. Because they have morale 20. God, imagine if he actually seduced a Mandeha. That would be extremely, extremely bad. I would rage quit. I wouldn't rage quit, but it would be so annoying. I kind of want to increase his morale. I think I might actually give him warrior's rings. I do have a warrior's ring here. Not because it's likely that he'll get seduced, just that if he did get seduced, it would literally ruin me. Do demons even get seduced? I'm gonna search the Discord to find out. Actually, I'm gonna cut the video because I haven't organised this army yet, and I don't want you to have to watch me organising the army. But I can tell you that I've got this guy who's going to cast all the earth buffs, and I'm probably going to boost a Rakshasa up with air using the air boosters that are over here. I've got this helmet and this bag, and this tome as well. So this guy was air 6 in that battle. I'm going to shift them over here because this is the only area that matters now. That was Hinnom's last gasp. They have nothing left now. So I'm going to shift all these boosters over here, and that should... hopefully that'll include some plus morale dragon helmets, and that should guard against seduction if that occurs. I'm also going to give everyone bodyguards. So I'll just make a cut in the video. And of course these trolls are going to stay on this throne though as defenders. We're going to check our... we've got air elementals and leech casters on this throne and this throne. And we're going to have them on this throne as well. And we've got them... we should be... our thrones are safe. Pan looks to be quite weak. Hinnom is now defeated. Therados could cause issues for me, but I think they're just too slow, too far away now. And Niflheim basically has nothing. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 provinces now. And yeah, they're just a minor force. Atlantis also retook this province. That wasn't a huge surprise, but it's worth noting, I guess. It's kind of interesting. Amusingly, we still haven't scouted Atlantis, but I know from playing test games that this is where the capital is. And yeah, that's really the end of the game, I think. I think I'm actually going to win it. It took me a long time, and I probably played far too defensively. But this is the first part of turn 90. And see you chaps next time once I've finished organising this turn, and then I'll send the turn in and show you what I did with my army against Pan. Hello again chaps, it's still turn 90, and there's a couple of things I forgot to mention. Well, I mean, first I have to show you what I finally did with this army that I'm moving into Pan with. So we've tried to adjust for assassination or seduction on everyone, except this guy. He's just along for the ride for no reason. In fact, I have a shortage of these guys, so I'm going to send him back. Yeah, I've got all the big earth spells on the Troll King that you can see. I've got that little communion of 6 communion slaves, and it's actually 5 communion slaves, and these 2 guys are masters. 5 just to be on the safe side. I've got the 2, I've got Mass Flight, I've got Bloodlust, got a communion, got Divine Blessing, got I've got Will of the Fates, and I think that should be enough. Pan doesn't seem that strong. I've also sent someone over here to cast Foul Vapours behind a huge bunch of Soulless, but that doesn't really matter if I can capture the throne and then win. Oh yeah, something else happened today. It's 5 turns into the Cataclysm, and we have a worldwide event. The barrier that separates the horrors of the void from this world is now gone, and horrors are appearing frequently. The sky's still red, but that's not the greatest problem now. Mages are advising utmost caution, and to avoid any highly populated area that horrors might enjoy. Performing rituals powered by gems or pearls at this time would be suicidal. So we've noticed a lot more horror marks this turn, unrest everywhere, and some magic scales, which is annoying because they empower doom horrors and horrors. I'm still going to summon another Wraithlord though. Going to see what they have in store for me when I do that. And I think that message means that horrors may now attack random provinces. You know what would be cool is if horrors attacked random provinces, and whenever they did so, it connected the provinces that used to connect each other, and the province is destroyed. Like, imagine if the horrors attacked this province, and then they just destroy it and remove it from the world completely, and then this province just joins up with this province, and this province, and this province, and you can just go directly between the diagonal ones here. Or like, if they eat one of the candles, or like if they eat this province, then suddenly this connects directly to this, and you can go straight from here to here, and it disappears from the map in some way. I guess that would be impossible from the PNG, like the visual point of view. It'd be hard to program. But that would be a cool way to make the apocalypse actually be fast-paced instead of slowing the game down like I think it actually does. The Cataclysm, not the apocalypse. I'm going to retake these provinces. I'm going to attack in here where he has no local defense with just a scout, see if he falls the same thing twice. I've summoned some more Mound Kings, and I don't really care if the summoners die, because I think the summoning goes off and then they die, so you still get the Mound King. So paying 150 gold for a Mound King is not great, but it's not completely awful either, because it means that I can have a patroller to reduce unrest to still get my gold out of my provinces. So that's worth it in the long run. You pay gold to get gold. But of course, the long run only depends on if I lose this battle, which I'm not intending to. So yeah, I got a load of air gems and air elementals stashed everywhere. Got mass flight and all the important stuff here. Gonna move into this province while still retaining a defensive force here. And really that's about all there is to say for this turn. It would be quite funny if he actually attacked over this river while I move my army away, and then a Doom Horror attacked me after him, and the Doom Horror beat me because he beat my army or ruined my army or something, and then the throne dies. That would be kind of a Pyrrhic victory for him. That's basically it. That's basically the end of the turn. I guess I'll go into some more detail here. We got hold and attack closest, got commanders, bodyguards everywhere, got some gems on anyone just in case some seductions do occur. We've got mass flight. Yeah, there's just not much interesting to say about this battle. I feel so confident. After beating that huge Hinnom stack with all of those communion slaves, I feel very confident about fighting Pan. So I think this is the end of the game and I actually win here. And that's the end of turn 90. See you chaps next time.